Coming to you live from a Rainforest Cafe, we are For the Fan. This is episode number 156. As always, I am Will. And we got Dom, Jake, and Colton. Gentlemen, hello. How are you? Happy League New Year. Are we popping the champagne or what here?
Yeah, I mean, Jake's popping the champagne. I think everybody else can kick rocks.
Kick rocks and touch grass. That's what we're all going to be doing. Jake has all the right to pop all the champagne. It's been a hot minute since we've been on here, and well, hey, we're back. We're here. You can follow us on all those platforms down below. YouTube for the Fan Network, TikTok for the Fan Network, Twitter or X, however you want to call it, if it's even up still, for the Fan _ on Instagram, for the Fan Football. 53 hours after the negotiation period opened. A lot of people now can sign their deals. If they're a free agent, trades can finally be finalized. Teams can announce these trades. The whole shebang, the whole thing. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if we want to just jump right into it. I'll just play the Rainforest Cafe intro again if we want.
That was new. That was true.
I've never been to one. Never been to one.
Neither have I.
But that's what I expect to be played there. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
And here we go. TikTok opened up and started playing some Jimmy Neutron, so that was pretty funny there. A lot of stuff went down. We're going to try breaking it down as best to our abilities. Hopefully, we'll get it all correctly the first time around. So free agency, we're going to view it on two separate sides of the football. We got offense and defense. We're going to just, dive in right here. Let's start out with the quarterbacks, where Friday night was the first piece, the first domino that fell. Geno Smith got traded to the Raiders, a third-round pick, which was the Jets, to go be traded to a former Jets quarterback to bring him into Las Vegas. So that new contract they're working on between $40-45 million. Pete Carroll reunites with his one-time backup. Now he is there doing his stuff in Las Vegas. Let's talk about the other former Jets quarterback, Sam Darnold, who finally gets his bag, $33.33 or whatever million a year. He goes to Seattle, 3-year deal. If you want, I could just go down the list and we could talk about what we like and dislike here.
Sure.
So we go from Justin Fields, who went from Pittsburgh to the Jets, 2 years, $40 million with $30 total million guaranteed. Daniel Jones, or as now he's going to be called Indiana Jones, robbed the Colts blindly, 1 year, $14 million, and he gets 13.15 guaranteed at signing. So once he signs the dotted line, bam, it's guaranteed there. Marcus Mariota returns to the Commanders, 1 year, $8 million. Joshua Dobbs, the Pastronaut, goes cross-country from San Francisco to New England, 2 years, $8 million. Zach Wilson returns to the AFC East after being traded away last offseason for 1 year and $6 million. Jacoby Brissett agreed to a deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Length and value is unknown at this time. What do we like and dislike about these quarterbacks? Yep, $0 and 0 cents. You get the work for free, big guy.
I don't know.
There's honestly not one I like.
It's just like a bunch of whatever.
Justin Fields. It's about it. It's the only name on that list that has any slight intrigue to it. And it's like, oh, yeah, that could be decent. The rest of them, I could care less about. You named a bunch of backups. Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Oh, joy, wonderful to watch in Indianapolis. And, oh, yeah, forgot to mention, the Steelers are starting Skylar freaking Thompson at the moment. And, yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. Just draft Jackson Dart with the 21st overall pick. And then it's just like Kenny Pickett all over again. I get to be all excited. And then I get to be pissed again. And then the rest is history. Who the hell cares about any of these guys? Sam Darnold sucks. Justin Fields sucks.
I got to cut you off there, okay? The Steelers are going to get the best quarterback. His name's Mason Rudolph, okay? And Myles Garrett may or may not attempt to decapitate his head once again on a Thursday night game in Cleveland.
Yeah. I was only half joking when I said saying Mason Rudolph, Steelers QB1. Because I don't think they're signing any of them besides him.
They're still in the Rodgers sweepstakes. Russell Wilson, he's taking visits with Cleveland and the Giants Thursday and Friday. There's also some other quarterbacks like Trey Lance and Drew Lock, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones is available. So there are some options out there. Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, Sam Ellinger,
Not really.
Bailey Zappi. There are choices galore out there at quarterback for some teams that do need a quarterback. Shall I skip ahead to the running back position?
Oh, another boring market. Please fire away there, Sir William.
Najee Harris, he gets to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. And fun fact, Najee Harris has a career long of 37 yards on a single rush. Jim Harbaugh's is 42. There you go. He's going to teach him how to run, just like how he was wide receiver 1 for Herbert during training camp. 1 year, $5.25 million. Elijah Mitchell, the once backup for the Christian McCaffrey experience there in San Francisco, goes to the Chiefs. 1 year, $3.5 million. Javonte Williams, an interesting move, goes to Dallas. 1 year, $3 million. Kenneth Gainwell goes across Pennsylvania. 2 cities in the same state, says Charlie Day one time. No money amount has been seen. And Khalil Herbert just agreed to a deal with the Indianapolis Colts for 1 year. And we also have some other free agents there. Miles Sanders got released from the Panthers. Raheem Mostert's out on the market. It could see a potential reunion there in San Francisco. Jamal Williams got cut. Gus Edwards is out there. Jeff Wilson. Nick Chubb, that's a name that is out there.
J.K. Dobbins.
I was about to say, before we keep going, can I just say what are the Chargers doing unless they're like committed to draft a running back, which I don't think they're going to do. Like, why bring in Najee Harris when you could just re-sign Dobbins, who's better
And younger.
He's not younger.
He's not. It's
no,
close.
I mean, there's the big elephant in the room that J.K. Dobbins is always hurt, so Najee Harris hasn't missed a snap for Pittsburgh. So
I guess that's fair.
I mean, cool. Those nice 2 yards of carriers.
Hey, they might run him. To be fair with Najee Harris, 4 years in the league, over 1,000 yards in every single season. Like, I got it. Like, the numbers aren't like amazing. But, like, it's not his fault he's running behind morons in Pittsburgh.
Because Jalen Warren is so much. It's like.
I agree. Jalen Warren hits but like the Steelers also designed plays better for him. Yet we're running toss plays to Najee Harris, who can't move. Like, he's a between the tackles guy. You ever throwing him toss plays? So, like, we do it to ourselves with the guy where Harbaugh's going to run him the right way. And the more Najee, probably the better it goes throughout a game. He usually gets better late in the game. So, like I said, I'm not upset. I thought the Steelers made the right decision letting Najee Harris go. But,
absolutely.
I mean, a run-first team and a guy that's always healthy, I think that's a good move for the Chargers.
I'm excited for Warren season there in Pittsburgh.
Steelers are going to draft a running back, too. They're not just rocking with Gainwell. And
hey, they play the Giants this year. If you need easy touchdowns, Gainwell, he owns them. John Mara has 51% of ownership. Gainwell has 49%.
That's the wrong one.
Wrong guy.
That's the wrong one.
No? Oh, geez. I butchered that one. So let's move on to wide receiver. I don't want to
Boston Scott, isn't it?
Yeah, Boston Scott.
I messed that up.
There are legitimate running backs left. I mean, like, there's that are kind of under the radar, like Kareem Hunt, who like is still good. Bro.
I think they want to wait till the draft. A lot of these guys probably aren't going to take jobs right off the bat.
Like, there's a ton that could go early day 2.
That is super valid.
Like, besides Genty and Hampton, who I think are day 1 guys, there's Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Trayvon Henderson, Bashul Tootin, Bashard Smith, Cam Scatabo.
The running back market is wild.
Bunch. There's going to be good, like, 5th, 6th round running backs that you're going to see and be like, where'd that guy come from?
I'm already having a Cam Scatabo on my watch list for fantasy football.
Oh, yeah?
Go Sun Devils.
Well, currently getting sued, but that's a different point.
That's a different story for a different day. Maybe we'll talk about that on the draft. Who knows?
Man, there
Shall I add
receivers too? Go for it.
So let's talk about this. The Rams wanted to get younger, so they told Cooper Kupp, hey, we're going to, get younger. We're going to release you, try trading you. Devontae Adams. He goes to the Rams, 2 years, $44 million. He agreed to the deal while he was in Japan or something like that. He was somewhere in the other hemisphere. Well, nah, other part of the world, not hemisphere. Butchered that one. And then we have another cross-country travel here. Josh Palmer goes from the Chargers to the Bills, 3 years, $36 million. I think that is a really good deal for him. I think he is an underrated guy. Darius Slayton stays with the Giants, 3 years, $36 million. Diami Brown, he heads from our nation's capital to Jacksonville, 1 year, $10 million.
Yeah, hold on. Before you continue, my brain hurts watching Jacksonville sign free agent wide receivers. Christian Kirk for 18 and Diami Brown for 10 million.
Yeah,
God bless some of these agents in Jacksonville.
Christian Kirk broke the wide receiver market back then.
It's like the Browns. The only way they get players is to bribe them and just shovel money at them. Like Miles Garrett.
$10 million? Yet D-Hop got $5 million? Like, what is going on around here?
Then we got Demarcus Robinson, who heads up the coast of California to San Francisco, 2 years, $9.5 million. Matt Collins, the savior for Mac Jones, wide receiver 1, 2 years, $8.4 million here, heading into New England. Ashton Dolan stays in Indianapolis, 2 years, $6.5 million. Nick Westbrook-Akine, 40 catches and like 11 touchdowns last year. He was on a roll for whatever reason. He heads to South Beach, 2 years, $6.5 million. Trent Sherfield, he heads from the Vikings to Mile High, 2 years, $6 million. Cordell Hodges stays in Atlanta, 2 years, $6 million. Marquez Valdez-Scantling heads up into Seattle, 1 year, $5.5 million. DeAndre Hopkins, he heads to Baltimore, 1 year, $5 million. Van Jefferson leaves Pittsburgh to go down to Nashville, 1 year, $2.5 million. Braxton Berrios, 1 year, just short of $2 million. We also have Justin Watson, who's with the Texans, not really known what the deal is there for his contract. Zay Jones resigns with the Arizona Cardinals. Dante Pettis stays with the Saints. Dwayne Eskridge, he stays with the Dolphins. I need to bring this up, okay? I think the Ravens are the actual team where veteran receivers go to die. It's not the Titans anymore. It is the Baltimore Ravens.
Under Lamar, it is.
Des Bryant, Deshaun Jackson, OBJ. There was also another guy there. I'm drawing a blank of who it is, but now D-Hop's now that fifth person to fall into that range.
Sammy Watkins, did you say him yet?
I don't know if it was Watkins.
He would have been like 26 still. I don't know. There's still a lot of good receivers left, man.
I love the one underrated one I love is Nick Westbrook-Akine going to Miami.
Yeah.
Like, with that system and what he was able to do with almost every touch being a touchdown in Tennessee.
Like he had a touchdown every 3.5 catches or something. It was like the most ridiculous thing out there.
I want to see what he does with, McDaniel and that that offense down there in Miami.
I mean, you got Keenan Allen, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Amari Cooper, you got Brandon.
Imagine talking about this 2 years ago, these free agents would be like, how are they not signed yet? This is ridiculous.
Tyler Lockett on the low end, Mike Williams, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, Aguilar, Tyler Boyd, Zach Pascal, Elijah Moore. I mean, there's dudes that are gonna, I believe, land on teams. There's a lot of room left for dudes to be signed. This makes me curious about Seattle because they went from having the trio they had, even though Tyler Lockett wasn't doing too much, to Tyler Lockett currently being a free agent, DK going to the Steelers, and so now all they have is what's his name there? Who's great, fantastic. If you're gonna keep one of them, he was your guy, but you're gonna need someone else. So I'm interested to see what Seattle does after departing from the duo that was the duo for years for them. So
Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jake Bobo.
Yeah. Okay.
The new Cooper Kupp.
Sure.
He's gonna do wonders there.
But there's a lot of dudes left.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was just released. They didn't find a trade partner. The Rams didn't, so he gets released. It's going to be interesting where he goes. Obviously, the Packers are a team to watch. Seahawks, the Patriots, even the Titans are a team to watch for him. So I say it's interesting to see where he ends up going. Obviously, Diggs has the ACL, so they could get him on a very cheap deal. And Keenan Allen, he says he either wants to go back to the Bears or the Chargers.
Okay.
We'll figure that out as that bridge
I mean,
gets here.
If a team wants a receiver right now, they have a wide selection to pick from. So you make your pick. So whoever people sign at this moment, they're very purposeful. It's who they think is going to fit their team, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
So this is like the time to make a wide receiver move, even if it's going to be your third wide receiver. You have the selection, man. Like Juju is even there still. Noah Brown is out there. Allen Robinson. There's just dudes that are just like on the low end as a third or fourth string. Great decisions. Go for it. I mean, it's there. It's for the picking. Rondale Moore. The list is huge at the moment. So are going to make signings soon for receivers. They're going to be really purposeful, and it's who they want. I'm interested to see that more than anything at the moment.
Taking a look at tight ends, Juwan Johnson returns to the Saints, 3 years, just short of $31 million. Evan Ingram goes to Denver for 2 years and $23 million. Luke Farrell, 3 years, $20.25 million. The backup for Evan Ingram there in Jacksonville. And Jacksonville brings in 2 tight ends, one being Johnny Munt, 2 years, $5.5 million, and Hunter Long, 2 years and $5 million. Durham Smythe agreed to a deal with Chicago for 1 year. Nothing really known about the money, but we also have Tyler Conklin, Gerald Everett, Mo Alley Cox as some of the suitors here in the tight end market.
Do we care?
Yeah, there's not too many crazy tight end ones.
Let's head to tackles here in the free agent market here. Dan Moore from the Steelers to the Titans, 4 years, $82 million. The big money guy gets his money. Jalen Moore heads to the Chiefs, 2 years and $30 million. Trent Williams is backup there in San Francisco. Morgan Moses heads to the division rival Patriots, 3 years, $24 million. James Hudson heads to the Giants, 2 years, $11 million. Cornelius Lucas from the Commanders to the Browns, 2 years, $10 million. Matt Pert stays with Broncos, $7 million over 2 years. And let's see, Josh Jones to Seattle, 1 year, $4.75 million. We got Dan Skipper, who stays with Detroit on a 1-year deal, and a couple of other ones. So obviously noteworthy people here: Cam Robinson, Joseph Noteboom, Tyron Smith, Jedrick Wills.
So are we going to talk about the Texans in this?
Yeah, let's bring up the trade, the blockbuster trade that the Texans did on Monday. They acquire a second, a fourth, a seventh, and a third. So a 2026 second and fourth, and a 2025 seventh and third round pick for Laramie Tunsil. And they traded away a 4th round pick this year to the Commanders. Holy hell.
Don't know what they're doing. You took the only good things about your worst position unit and threw it in the trash.
They got rid of 4 guys. Shaq Mason was one of them. Laramie Tunsil they traded. They traded the guy to Philadelphia, who we'll talk about in just a second here, Kenyon Green.
Don't need to talk about him. He's
So yeah, there are positions, like the Texans are imploding their offensive line. Obviously, they know something that we don't, or we know everything that they don't know. We're still trying to figure that out as we're moving along here.
They don't have and the guy they brought in is terrible. Like Laken Tomlinson is one of the worst tackles to have played this past, or lineman to have played this past season. And that's the guard, I guess guard, because I haven't had a tackle really to anybody. That's the guard you're bringing in to replace Shaq Mason and or Green.
They also do have George Fant, who was released from the Seahawks, and they're releasing of last week's players. So that is a name to watch as they go along and send them out to wherever they want to end up going. So that would be obviously a viable left tackle or right tackle, whichever way he can go. He could play both positions, be the blind side, or Stroud's non-blind side. So there's that.
I mean,
Yeah, want me to move on?
Becton.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, Becton is out there. Well, we can move on to guards here. Will Fry's the big money guard here. Well, one of the big money guards. There's two of them. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings. 5 years, $88 million. Big contract there for the Vikings, who are now diversifying money out into all these positions we're going to end up talking about shortly. Aaron Banks leaves the 49ers with, the great migration away from San Francisco. He goes to Green Bay, 4 years, $77 million. Patrick McCary goes to the Jaguars, 3 years, $37.5 million. James Daniels, he goes to Miami, 3 years, $24 million. Alex Kappa, he finds himself there in Las Vegas, 2 years, just north of $11 million. Kevin Zeitler, he heads down to the Titans, really trying to solidify the offensive line there in Nashville, 1 year, $9 million. Bradley Bozeman stays in LAC, 2 year, $6.5 million. Laken Tomlinson, as you said, Jake, 1 year, $4.25 million. Robert Jones, he has the Dallas 1 year, $3.75 million. And Brady Christensen stays in Carolina 1 year, $2.787 million. And we also have Bleak Hant and Coleman Shelton, who agreed to deals, but we're patiently waiting to find out the numbers on those. Some of the bigger name guards, Brandon Sheriff, he was a big ticket item a couple years ago for the Jaguars. Shaq Mason's also up there. Will Hernandez's contract expired with the Cardinals. Nate Herbig is there. Mekhi Becton is there. John Feliciano is out there. Wes Sweetser is out there if you're looking for a guard. And yeah, there's a decent amount of people out there who are probably vying for a new position, or new team, I should say, for free agency.
It's a lot of 1 year deals.
See how the weirdest moves of this free agency period were made on the besides some of, but like the Bengals don't really seem to have a plan. The Texans don't seem to have a plan. And then on the flip side, I'll praise the Bears for once. Like they said, we're not letting Caleb get hit so much anymore, at least in the middle, and lock down the three interior players.
Yeah, Joe Tooney, he heads to the Bears. A 4th round pick was exchanged. Then Jonah Jackson, a 6th round pick, was exchanged. Two big moves there. And now the offensive line seems to be stable enough there in Chicago. So hopefully not another 77 sack season there for Caleb and company.
I don't remember who their tackles are if they need one.
I don't know.
They did sign a center though. They got the top center in free agency. They got Drew Dalman from the Falcons, 3 years, $42 million. And then Robert Hainsey, he heads to Jacksonville, 3 years, $21 million. Robert Kelly goes to the Vikings along with his teammate Will Fries, 2 years, $18 million. And then Danny Pinter resigns with the Colts, 1 year, $1.675 million. Not a lot of experience here in the centers market. Daniel Brunskill, Nick Harris, Dan Feeney, Josh Myers. Not a whole lot of experience, but it's a very small market there for teams that are looking for maybe a starter, but more than likely depth positions there for them.
It's O-line, so like whoever you think's going to fit, there's not. Teams are going to make good choices. Teams are going to make bad choices. You don't really know until it happens. Look at Mekhi Becton last year. The Jets just so lost on him, and look how that went. And now his value's so high. It's either going to be good for whoever gets him, or they're not. It's just going to be whatever. It's just O-line is so weird always because it's just you get who you can or who you want. If you're looking for size, you don't know. Every team's a little bit different with that, and if they think they won it, then good for them. So every scheme's different. It's just a lot of 1-year deals on the guards, though. I'm kind of surprised about 1-year deals for O linemen. I think is kind of whack.
Odd.
Yeah, I think you kept saying 1 year, and I was like, damn, like that's kind of new. I feel like for O linemen, I feel like all the other years it was never just like a bridge deal or just like a rental year or something like that. It's a little bit odd to me. I don't know.
We could shift away from a bunch of 1-year deals and talk about the defensive linemen because they were the position that cashed in this free agency.
Tell you what,
Let's-
though, I was looking before we even get into that. There's a lot of linebackers still out there. Dudes, I'm
Let's start-
starting on teams,
Inside or edge?
mostly edge.
I'm not going to talk about all 31 people that signed here, but let's break down this. The Patriots, the top 2 people that ended up moving were Milton Williams. He got the big money this free agency, 4 years, $104 million. Josh Sweat reunites with Murr out there in Arizona. 4 years, just north of $76 million altogether. Jonathan Allen, he cashes in big with the Vikings, 3 years, $51 million. Chase Young cashes big with the Saints, 3 years, $51 million. I'm not even going to pronounce this guy's name. Javon Kinlaw somehow got a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Commanders. DeMarcus Lawrence, just about an hour ago, signed a big deal with the Seahawks, 3 years, $42 million. Grady Jarrett lands with the Bears, 3 years, $34.5 million. Javon Hargraves also heads to Minnesota, 2 years, $30 million. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all these ones. I mean, there are some big other big names here. Larry Ogunjobi, he heads from Pittsburgh up into Buffalo, so that is a big move there for the Buffalo Bills. And is he in here? He might not be in this one. I don't see him. But then you got Joey Bosa, who's probably going to appear on defensive ends there. But yes, the big money ticket this offseason was defensive linemen, and they cashed in big.
It's really one of the. I mean, it's one of the highest paid positions for sure. For the dudes, like the high end of the pass rush market is gigantic, like enormous, and that's why some of them go high in drafts, high in drafts.
You talked earlier about Indiana Jones with the
Indiana Jones
fleecing the bag. There's one in particular that I have my eye on right about here.
What, with Milton?
Yeah,
dude. I don't know how, as a Patriots fan, I don't know how I feel about that dude. Listen, he played 48% of the snaps.
I mean, that was also like Trey Hendrickson. He played only like 48% of the snaps and got his bag when he left New Orleans. Then he was still, he's still killing it.
Milton was in a really phenomenal position to succeed the way that he did, and he's now going into a spot where that it's not going to be that. It's a lot.
do I like
it's a lot of money.
Do I always like Milton? Yes, I think that he would be the.
Oh, here we go. Matthew Smith here in the comments. Patriots are having an awful free agency. Oh, we got all the takes here. CJ Stroud's going to die this year. Chances are that's probably going to end up happening. David Carr's sack record's going to get shattered here. You probably would be a better guard than Laken Tomlinson, Matt.
Rough.
I mean, I think
Javon Kinlaw might be the worst signing in the past 5 years. Yeah, I don't know how he ended up getting $50 million. He was terrible on the Jets. He was absolutely dog water.
Like, the thing about Milton, to get back to what I was saying, like, he's never done the guy. Not one time. He was brought in specifically on third downs, and even that split time or Ojoma, who had a better win rate than him. And it was either him next to Fletcher Cox or then Jalen Carter, where he never saw a double team in his life. I guess he still won't because he got Christian Barmore, but
As long as he's healthy, there's a lot of question marks.
You pay that much money for a guy that you don't expect to take on double teams.
And the Patriots also traded away Devon Gachow. He went to the Saints for a 7th-round selection.
Not a big deal.
A.J. Dillon, Philadelphia Eagle.
Okay. I
Wow,
like it.
that's pretty.
How much
Damn.
does it say?
It says 1-year deal. Does not give a price tag.
Probably nothing, because that's how we roll. Once
Oh, it just refreshed on this thing too. That's so wild. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break these all down here. So let's see. So defensive ends, Chauncey Golston, he goes to the Giants 3 years, $19 million. Malcolm Kuhn stays with the Raiders for a 1-year, $12 million deal. Edwards stays in Houston. $9.5 million, 2-year contract. Eric Barnett stays in Houston for $4 million on 1 year. Peyton Turner, all the reporters say if your former first-round selection goes to this team, you're terrible. And Peyton Turner, he heads to Dallas for a 1-year, $3 million contract.
That's gonna be so fun.
That's funny.
Because, like, Philadelphia in general are already ready to kill that man, and he just went to the Cowboys. That's gonna be real interesting next season. Also, side note, the jokes are already starting because A.J. Dillon.
From the Packers.
Well, besides,
Yeah, he didn't play last season due to a neck injury, so he did end up missing the entire year. So I want to see what a year off did to him, and
biggest quad.
are they going to have the biggest quads competition?
Yeah,
I say the quad show in Philly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Quadzilla.
Time to get on all fours here in Philly. Here we go.
Hey yo.
Let's go into the linebacker spots here. Harold Landry, he reunites with Vrabel up in New England, 3 years, $43.5 million. Dre Greenlaw gets himself a decent bag there in Denver, 3 years, $35 million. Robert Spillane heads to New England, 3 years, $33 million. Michael Hoke goes to Buffalo, 3 years, $21 million. Cody Barton heads to Tennessee, 3 years, $21 million. Patrick Jones to Carolina, 2 years, $20 million. My favorite one on this list, Davine Diablo to the Falcons, 2 years, just $14 million. Hassan Reddick gets a bag in Tampa Bay for $14 million on a single year. Joey Bosa, $12.6 million for 1 year in Buffalo. Leonard Floyd, $10 million. He returns home to Georgia. And I'm not going to go through all these ones, but a lot of available players. Von Miller, although he's going to be turning 36 in just a couple of days, he's up there. Matthew Judon is also up there. Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, Jerome Baker.